Mm. So can you really imagine this being born in the year of 2026, as I was born in the year of 1958? There is such a drastic difference between the children born in the different generations. I had to really fight to ensure that access happened for my children. But I want to promise you, it doesn't happen for all children, as most people don't even understand what true access is, as failure has become an option in America. The only thing that you're guaranteed is that you will live, and then you will one day die, and you will pay taxes the whole time. And I'm saying, seriously? So what are you paying taxes for? Taxes, but people be bragging, girl, I just got my taxes done. And I'm saying, oh Lord, can you believe it? And you ranting and raving about that income tax money. And I'm saying, Lord, I just don't understand anymore. This public education has always been mandatory. I mean, mandatory, meaning that if you don't go, they got something for you. And as if you don't understand what I'm saying, know this. It really does happen, meaning that the punishments in life do exist. And the failure to thrive is a real thing. But when you lose your gifted and talented placement for life to someone you don't even know because you had a behavioral issue that you didn't understand, but you didn't get no services for. And they just took you from the least restrictive environment to the most restrictive environment and then start documenting how you so dysfunctional. You just dysfunctional. I'm saying, Lordy. So they think that this is what the world is really about. And they believe it as they have been going on about that merry heyday their whole lives and no one ever challenged them. So they told me I had to file a formal complaint if I was going to complain about that process. And I said, okay, I know how to do that. I just didn't fill in the blanks they wanted me to fill in, but I did fill in the blanks because it is only Clark County School District that is moving students from one site to another. And they made this NRS code, NRS 388 little g, and then anything comes out of the little g just comes after the little g. But it's different, you see. It's just different. And it is what it is. If you're not getting the same opportunity boost, then you're being denied. And if they're putting you in a more restrictive environment and you ain't saying nothing, well, what can I say? Pimping ain't easy, but Mississippi, goddamn. What happened to the water in Mississippi? Oh, the same thing had happened over there, up there in, in Michigan. Mm-hmm. Toxics in the water. Oh, but maybe the water just dried up. I don't know. Something happened to the water, as there is no water running through Lake Mead either. And the people here will find out. We're trying to figure out how we save Henderson, Lake Mead, as the water has just evaporated over the years. Mhm. But the big talk, the big talk, the big talk in America right now is this Anthony child. And he had a fight with another child. And it wasn't really a fight, as he wasn't the aggressor, as he was trying to be avoiding. It really didn't matter. You see, lions, tigers, and bears, oh my, black children shall die because they're more aggressive just knowing that they're black. Did you see that? The expectation in the room that the child was just more aggressive, although the other child was much more aggressive. And he was the aggressor. He was the one that chose to not let it go. And then the judges, the people over the track meet, well, those motherfuckers could have stepped in. They should have been overseeing the event. Oh no, they set them up there to figure it out by themselves, unknowing that one child just didn't have the skill level to figure it out, was going to act in such a defensive manner that he thought that this child was going to take his life. And thought is everything. Perception is everything too. But in America, does it matter what you perceive? I don't think so. As those four young men who were over there in the Tennessee day, Tennessee, what happened in Tennessee. Well, the one man that was on the dock trying to do his job. And then all those other people were jumping him because those particular entitled people, because they wanted to do what they wanted to do and they were going to stop him from controlling him. And I'm saying, so everybody came to the rescue. It was the first time that I've ever visually saw it. Coming to the rescue of a man in America. That's what happened. And then from that moment on, there were instances where people were doing things that they shouldn't have been doing, like here in Vegas. The young man, he had a knife. He came to help his friend, and he had a knife. And the bystanders thought it was unfair, so they jumped in, but they jumped in. It was murder that day for them because they had no idea the boy was going to crack his head. But he did. And unfortunately, he wound up dead in America. If you're just innocently recording now, they want to make you guilty. Of course, they're going to record, but if you have a copy of the recorded, it just happens to say, can I say in America, who are you and what is it that you do? This is 2026. I was just made in America. Now, here I am in Viva Las Vegas, living in Vegas and trying to understand just what's going on because I don't seem to understand. Only 14% of the African American children are scoring at or above the 40th percentile for reading and math here. Only. What did I say? There's only 70% of the population, but out of 300 and something thousand students, if your students are 17% of the that's a goodly number, don't you think? But if your children are not making it, oh, you're not concerned because you got your kids in a magnet school. You've figured it out. Yeah, you have figured it out. But guess what? The other children who have not figured it out are in a more restrictive environment because behavior seems to be the only impedance to life. Because the lack of skills just mean a lack of skills, communication skills. I mean, when your early assessors for language development don't know that they're supposed to be assessing the children, oh, what the hell, right? Okay, well, I don't know who your healthcare providers are, but in California, it's simply just Kaiser and all those healthcare plans. They do the assessments for language development under the state of California. And they get paid too, a goodly amount. Well, the data means everything, though. But if you don't have any data, what should I say? Be afraid of the monster behind the door because that boogeyman is coming. That data thing is coming your way, boo. That's right. So what will you do as this is 2026? And in America, who are you? And what are you doing? This is America. So until we meet again, y'all, understand they just keep on collecting the money and you keep on paying the taxes. When it comes down to mandatory services, reality is they're still harvesting you. So you do what it is that you do. find it amazing that no matter. So good morning from somewhere in Las Vegas. I find it amazing that no matter what you. So the verdict came in today on that Anthony guy, and they're going to give him life in prison. Now, you let your child go to a track meet, and he's used to carrying a pocket knife, and he's used to being in violent situations, but his response was too quick and too rapid. Did he intend to do it? Well, it mattered what environment he's been raised in, don't you think? And there was not one black person on the jury. So not one person coming, not one like-minded person coming from an area where in which he was being raised. Just to understand what the school's obligation was to the people at the track meet, because apparently they were letting them kids self-socialize, and that did not work. And if you think that it's going to change, it's only going to get worse, as failure has never been an option. But when you're sowing seed the wrong way, then boo, it's sowing seed the wrong way. You're going to celebrate what? I'm trying to understand. There's a celebration, and there was going to be a celebration of a track meet. But you can't put heathens together. So understand what the heathens are coming from everywhere. They're coming from all these black schools and black organizations, and you're pitting these children against each other as if they need to be responsible for actions that they would have taken in their own hood. This is insanity because these children are not being raised up in a culture in which it doesn't, you know, negate that level of violence. And that child that was aggressive, he was super aggressive. And he put his life on the line. And he put his life on the line that day. He didn't know how to back off. But sometimes we don't either. So in the year of 2026, as this is June, and we've already went through the May revised day, and they're going to spend that money because they're going to spend the money on whatever they want to spend it on. For children who would have behavioral issues, ask yourself again, is life in prison what that child deserved? His response was that from an aggressive peer. And that aggressive peer did not have any obligation to his behavior. And I'm trying to understand lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. What will you do besides what? Lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my.